Hi everyone, my name is Amanda Blankfield-Koseff and I'm the founder and CEO of Empowervate. We run the program YCAP, which is the Youth Citizens Action Program. So who's the we? It started out with me working at another NGO and coming up with this idea because we had a youth dialogue and the youth dialogue was not getting anything really done. It was just talking, and I was like, surely there's a better way of doing this. Let's get people involved. Let's get them tools to actually make positive change where they are right now as young people. Why do they have to wait until they're adults or until government or someone else solves their problems? So I actually got a group of stakeholders together and had a meeting and discussed this, and that's how we came up with the Youth Citizens Action Program. And then 4 years later, it just grew into its own direction and didn't really fit into that NGO anymore. So I asked the CEO if I could take the program and start my own NGO to run it, and he agreed. So that's how Empowervate was born in 2013. So the team was myself and 2 trustees, and then we had some volunteers, the stakeholders that we already had, the original stakeholders, which included a funder and included someone who had connections with the Department of Education. They said, let's go and meet with them and see if they could help us to implement the program, since it is something that would fall into their mandate of helping the racial tensions and increasing the values in schools. So that was our partnership that we started from the beginning, and it's still going up to this day, 13 years later. And then as we continued and did the program, we actually got a lot of interest from alumni who wanted to come back and be part of the program some more and to help others to do the program. So we've got some really committed alumni that are still volunteers years after doing the program. And then we've got some who have not even done the program. They're just interested in it and want to give up their time. So that's our team. So what inspired me to take action is that I realized that people want to do something. They want to make a change. They just don't know how. So that's how we came up with the idea of having a toolkit that explains project management skills in a very easy to understand step-by-step way. And also we had to focus on the values, because we said, it's all very well and good to have young people who are doing well at school, but they don't have values. It means that they're not going to use those skills and that knowledge for positive outcomes. So values are very key and very important, and that's why we included that from the beginning in the program. So what are we doing? So we run the program, which is basically providing the toolkit, which is the project management guide, and giving young people the mandate of saying, go and find something in your school community, one of the SDG goals, the Sustainable Development Goals, which you would like to improve on. So they can choose to do an issue around water. We've had projects on where there was drought in the Western Cape, how to save water. We've had projects around gender-based violence, the whole, tolerance and getting rid of abuse and things like that. We've had projects on limiting substance abuse, ending that problem. We've had projects on creating awareness around suicide. We have had projects around confidence, young people not feeling confident, mental health issues, recently COVID-19 issues. So many different varied topics over the last 13 years, but most of them fit into the SDG goals and the Global Development Goals, because it's all about making a positive change where you are right now, and all of those little changes add up to big change. If you just expect government to do it at that high level, it's not going to have the impact that it would have if you have grassroots activities happening around that. So that is what we are doing now. How is our work disruptive? So we have a bottom-up approach. We say that the learners must come up with, the learners or the students, the young people should come up with what they want to work on, and then they should get help from their teachers. So that is how our work is disruptive and our impact to date. So we've had amazing projects. We've seen communities being uplifted. We've seen young people continuing to be active citizens and social entrepreneurs even later on after doing the program. So that is the impact that we've had, and we've had lots of research done on that, and we can prove that we've made a big change. And how will we scale? So we're already in all 9 provinces of our country, and we have at least 200 schools a year, sometimes up to 400 that take part in the program. We'd like to expand it to other countries and internationally. How have we adapted? So COVID-19 came along and we had to change our model. There's no way that we could continue to have in-person events while COVID was happening. So we moved everything online, and we managed to have successful projects, although at a much smaller scale than they would have been. But now this year, because COVID is not as intense as it was, we're starting to have a more hybrid model, and we're including some events as well. Our budget is not that great. It is basically our biggest expense is firstly the materials that we have to provide, secondly the workshops. So if we do in-person workshops, we have to pay for the venues, the catering, the transport of the facilitators and things like that. And then also the budget will go towards the national championships event, where all of the previous winners from the different provinces get together and showcase the amazing, impactful projects they've done. So that is where the major bulk of the project is. We don't have a lot of staff members. We actually plan to get at least 1 or 2 more, because at the moment I'm the only full-time staff member and my salary is really low. So yes, we have a very lean model. We focus on making change and making an impact, and not on having huge overheads. So that is our story. We hope that we have impressed you enough to see the value of our work, and keep well, and let's achieve these goals.